This video is not sponsored by Copilot. You're not the sponsor of me. You're not my real mother. You're not my real father. How is my weight doing? How is my fitness doing? How is my diet? How is my mental health? How's my love life? Just kidding, I'll spare you that detail. The first thing I wanted to share is that I now have a personal trainer. I cobbled together the income, figured out that if I allocate the kind of money that I was spending on stuff like makeup and clothes and dinners out and delivery and even just shaving a bit off of my grocery budget, I was able to afford a personal trainer. They're really not that much more expensive than an app like Copilot. Contrary to what Anna O'Brien and the other influencers who are shilling for Copilot every time you watch them practically say, you know, that app is like $100 a month. So for me, it's about twice that to hire a fitness trainer. And I look at this as a treatment for a disease that I want to get into remission. So it's worth the money. It's like, I was like, I'm just going to make it work. I'm just going to make it work. And it's been incredible. He is so good. He's also very knowledgeable about nutrition. And he reminds me a lot of Jordan Syatt. If you're not familiar with Jordan, he is what I call a sane influencer, fitness influencer. He understands the nuances of struggling with an ED in your past or in your present, and how difficult it can be to calorically restrict, and how difficult weight loss really is. Our bodies don't like to lose weight, because if we're losing weight, our bodies think something is wrong. Well, when you're over 100 pounds overweight, something is not wrong with losing weight, but our brains don't believe that. And our bodies kind of try to hold on to everything we've got until they understand that it's safe to release that weight. That's what my fitness trainer understands. And, you know, I have to be honest with you. When I went through the cancer scare over the holidays, if you're not familiar with this, if this is the first time you've been here, I had to get a needle breast biopsy in January. Like, that's how I started 2024. They found a suspicious mass in my breast right before the holidays hit. And it was not fun worrying about that. Worrying about, number one, if that little mass in there was indeed suspicious, or more like malicious, malignant, or, you know, it was also really terrifying to think about having a needle poked into my boob. If you want to watch my videos, I have my first mammogram video and a needle breast biopsy video. I documented it, not the actual, you know, procedure, but I documented how it went. I'll put those two videos on the end cards for you. I'll be honest, I was eating my feelings. I really, really was. And what my trainer said to me was, you know, let's just chill out. Like, if that is how you're coping with this right now, let's just chill out. Because in his mind, worrying about my diet and counting my calories and all of that stuff, yeah, you know, I probably would have lost weight, but maybe not. It might have discouraged me. He feels like it would have been too stressful for me to be counting calories while worrying about cancer and navigating the holidays. And so he was like, let's just chill out, just show up for your workouts, do the best that you can with your diet, but don't worry about it. And wouldn't you know it, I only gained 1 pound over the holidays. And let me tell you, I really was eating my feelings during that cancer scare. It tested me to my absolute limits. It really, really did, which helped me to understand that I'm still not there yet, like mentally. Learning a more constructive coping mechanism that is not food is going to be a priority. So I probably need to get back into therapy for a while and I think just figure out how to deal with those stress levels and not return to food being my biggest comfort. But it was really nice having a trainer who just helped me to chill. So yeah, I only gained 1 pound over the holidays. Absolute miracle, because it wasn't pretty. I was messy over the holidays. He weighs me on a fancy scale. It's called an in-body scale. It measures everything. Like it measures the molecules in your toenails. It is so precise. No, it doesn't. But I mean, just to tell you how precise it is. So I figured out that I've lost a lot of fat. 7 whole pounds of fat is gone. I lost 1.5 pounds off of each arm. And if you've seen what a pound of fat looks like, that's pretty impressive. Very happy about that. Let's see, that's 3 pounds. I believe I lost, like 2 pounds off of each leg, or, like close to 2 pounds off of each leg, and about 1 pound off my midsection. I am very happy with that. But what is so mind-boggling is that the scale has just been in a plateaued state for the last 8 weeks. And that's a little frustrating, but my clothes are fitting me better. So there's some body recomping going on, and my trainer said that eventually that weight's going to start coming back off. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just doing the best I can. One thing I really love about having somebody there with me physically to help me through lifting weights, we're focusing on building muscle first and foremost. It's what my doctor wants me to do. It's what a lot of the research says is super important for anybody over 50 is building muscle. The cardio is there too, but that's in between. That's connective tissue. It's not my focus. What I really love about it, having a trainer there is, number one, he can keep an eye on my form and correct it if it ain't going so well. We check in with each other all the time. It's nice to be able to just chat with him too and have somebody to talk to and bounce ideas off of. And he knows how to push me physically. Like, I realized that if I were left to my own devices, I would increase my weights over time and my reps over time, but not the way he is. He knows exactly how to push me to my limits. We're doing a pretty small amount of reps and much bigger amount of weights, and then many sets of that. And it's amazing how much stronger I feel. I'm already starting to deadlift in the hundreds, like 105, which is pretty cool because I was so out of shape when I started going back to the gym. So yeah, I'm getting stronger and stronger. I'm learning how to push myself. I love being sore the next day. God, I love it. I love getting that high five at the end of the session. And I love it when I feel like I can pull or push or whatever. And when I get to that last rep, I can't do it. It's too heavy. And he'll help me with that final rep. And then he'll say, good job. It kind of makes me melt a little to hear those words when I've been working out a lot, when I get to that last set where I just can't get it out. So that's been really amazing. So yeah, the in-body scale also taught us that my ideal weight is going to be about 150 pounds, which is about 20 to 30 pounds more than what the BMI says I should be at my height, which is 5'2". And that tracks because growing up, I was always heavier, but I didn't necessarily look heavier. So we found out that I have very dense muscle mass and that I have really excellent bone mass, which is great because I'm 52. So it's nice knowing that I'm not starting to exhibit early signs of osteoporosis or, just that my bones are in good shape. I also found out that my waist to hip ratio is perfect. It's 0.7. And they say women should be 0.85 or less. So that's nice that I've got that on my side too. So all of those different markers, the waist to hip ratio, knowing how much fat I've actually lost, knowing what my goal weight really should be, my ultimate goal weight should be, and for me, it feels like it's a realistic goal weight. That all makes the plateau hurt a little less, makes it less frustrating. But I hope that when I weigh in with the in-body scale, it's going to be in a couple weeks, I hope that we see some weight loss. But weight loss can be water weight and it can be lean muscle mass weight. I don't want that. I want fat loss. I don't want weight loss. And I know that I'm losing fat. So, hey, it's all good. Last time I checked in, I thought I was going to be doing the Mediterranean keto diet. Didn't work. When the holidays hit and the cancer scare hit, all of that went out the window. I just could not be super restrictive. I just could not eliminate entire food groups. I just could not. So I just treaded water. I just tried to avoid crappy food and tried to lean into healthy food as much as I could. I would go like a week where I would count and do really well counting. I like to use Chronometer. But I get exhausted. I get fatigued. I have been dieting for so much of my life that counting calories has felt more restrictive than it should be. And it makes me feel like I'm going to lose my mind. And when I get like that, that makes me want to give up altogether. And that is the danger zone for me. So I have decided to, for the moment, not count calories, but to focus on as many whole foods as possible and completely just eliminating ultra processed, big food type foods. Like the Doritos are not coming into my house, fam. They're not. All of those really delicious foods that we crave, they're not coming into my house. I'm going to be practicing kind of like an abstinence model, I guess, with ultra-processed, hyper-palatable foods. If I want to go have a burger, my rule this year is I have to go physically to a restaurant to get the burger. And I would like to try to keep it at local restaurants, locally owned, not big food establishments. It's kind of a challenge I want to put myself on this summer, maybe the rest of the year, and I can check in with you about it. I feel like big food does not have our best interests at heart. They develop those foods in labs. They use a scale called the bliss point. They want us completely addicted to all that crappy ass food. And it is addictive, especially if you've had any kind of issue with BED. That stuff is hard to eat in moderation. So, as much as I love the concept of intuitive eating, I feel like when hyper-processed, ultra-processed, hyper-palatable foods enter the picture, if you've been on the obese side of the spectrum and you've had BED in the past, or just issues with eating your feelings, overeating, those foods are kryptonite. They're kryptonite, and I just don't want to bring them into the house. So I made that decision a couple weeks ago, and I noticed on my scale that my weight's starting to trend down a little. Now, when I get weighed in with my trainer, it's very different from what my scale is at home. But if it's trending down at home, it's highly likely I might see a little bit of loss on the scale. But I'm happier with my clothes fitting me better, my waist to hip ratio being good, and knowing that I am putting on muscle and losing fat. And there is fat loss showing as well on the scale. It's like the muscle is gaining, the fat is going down, but the weight is kind of staying the same. It's pretty fascinating. It's really cool to have that big picture. Otherwise, it would be very frustrating. This would be a point right now where I would give up. And I don't want to give up anymore. I actually realized recently, after watching a video from Renaissance Periodization, Mike, is it Ishmael? He's an exercise physiologist. He talked about something called a diet detox. And I realized that I actually am naturally doing that right now. And I talked to my personal trainer about it, and he was like, yes, that is exactly what we're doing. It's the right way to do this. I'm going to do a whole other video about it. I want to react to the video so that you all can see the science behind it. I honestly feel like that method of detoxing from dieting might be kind of the way to learn how to intuitive eat. That's my theory. That's my hypothesis. So I'm going to be a little N=1 experiment and put that to the test. And yeah, we'll cover that here. Other than that, my mental health has been great, especially after the biopsy results came back negative. That was just, I think you saw the weight of the world leave my shoulders that day when I recorded that. Whew. Yeah, I've just been working on my house. I've been decluttering and donating stuff. I've been sparking joy. I've been Marie Kondoing my apartment. It's not a condo, it's an apartment, but I've been Marie Kondoing it because when it gets to be springtime, I want to be outside. I really want to get into hiking this year. Get on some trails with my niece, even if it's just beginning trails. It's going to be beginning trails. I want to get outside more. I want to get that vitamin D in my system, which we know is excellent for mental health. So that's about all I've got for this quarterly update. I weigh 262 right now. I have no problem telling you what I weigh. So yeah, if my goal weight is 150, I got to knock about 90 pounds off of this skeleton, this meat suit. I'm not really attaching any goals. I'm not attaching any time frames to any of this. At the moment, I just really want to focus on keeping my diet as healthy as possible and exercising as often as possible and just keeping a very balanced relationship with food. I'm not counting calories right now, but that doesn't mean I won't be in the very near future. I'm just going to see if keeping the hyper-processed, ultra-processed food out of my life, if that might just kind of naturally help reduce the calories. I suspect that it will. And thank you for stopping by and checking in with me. I love accountability. I told you I'd be accountable to you. Now feel free to weigh in on the comments. How are you doing? What's your state of health? Where are you at right now? Are you feeling good? Are you frustrated? Do you want to vent about anything? You want to talk about anything? I'm here for you, and I would love to continue the conversation down below. Thank you so much for being here, Fit Fam. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you soon, because there is a reaction or 2 or 3 I've got all lined up, and you voted on what you want to see first, so I will be back with that very soon.